Hey guys, today we are pulling a handle for my little faceted teapot, the one that I'm making to replace the one that did not pour very well. So hopefully my tighter spout will work a little better on this guy. So the first step is to get your clump of clay, and we are going to get it into sort of a vaguely carrot shape just by squeezing. This clay is also really soft, so it's a little bit more challenging. Just gotta be kind of delicate. And then also I cut my thumb the other day, so that's fun too. So the first step after carrot is to use your hand to get kind of a rounded shape. At this point, I'm trying to keep it fairly round while lengthening it out and also starting to get the taper. I do get a little bit of extra length at the second part of this, but I kind of want to get this at least close to the length I want during this initial round stage. Which I gotta kind of picture. All right. That's a pretty good length. I like the taper I've started. I've got to be really gentle because the clay is so soft. Now at this point, I'm going to switch from the rounded to trying to flatten it out. So I start using my fingers to flatten it out a bit in addition to lengthening. Got to kind of pay attention to what's happening on the sides, but I'm primarily using the flats of my fingers to start getting a more handly shape. Gotta make sure you pay equal attention to the base without pinching too hard. I don't want to pinch off the clay at the base, but I also don't want it to have like a big blob at the bottom. So just trying to work it, keep those sides relatively even and parallel. Sometimes I gotta come back in and work the bottom a little more. I do like to keep the top a little on the thicker side just to be extra secure on my mugs, and especially on my teapots. This teapot's gonna have a side handle, so again, I want a nice firm, secure attachment point. If I was doing an over-the-top handle, which I do enjoy doing, but they're a little more challenging, I try to keep it a little more even. I don't leave the top quite as fat. I'm just sort of trying to picture the shape this handle is going to be. I think I've already got a pretty good length. I don't want too big of a handle because then it would be hard to get a grip on it to get the leverage you need to pour. And I'm liking the shape. I'm liking the taper. I do tend to go for a little bit fatter handles just for something to grab onto and to feel like it's a nice, secure, sturdy handle. I'm trying to use less water now, kind of scrape off some of the slip. Get a nice shape there. Make sure I do it from both sides so it stays pretty even. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to use my needle tool to cut off the handle. I like to do it at an angle because that's how I'm going to end up putting it on. And there we go. And then I'm going to settle it down on my little rolling pin, which I use to dry my handles. We'll set them up a bit still with that rounded shape. So I like to drape them over top of my rolling pin with some plastic so it doesn't stick. I always make at least one extra handle in case I mess it up. And there's my little spout.